Hi, I'm Matt and welcome back to part 3 of this series. And in this series we are looking at the models which you can buy for 50 quid or 65 USD or less. And yeah, what better model to talk about than the Bonsai Flying Wing. You'll notice that I've got 3 of them because I've kind of adopted a third one. One of the chaps up at the flight line wanted his modded. He's never come back to me. So I've just kind of left this one here. Now, the reason why I've got this one out is because I wanted to show you the recommended motor which Hobby King suggests that you put on it. And I'm going to put that on the iPad for you, wherever it is. There we go. Look at the size of that. My thumb is bigger than that. And also, do not bother trying to use the details which Hobby King suggests, because you'll end up with just a limp ass model. It's just a waste of time. Instead, you would be wanting to start with a 2S setup, okay? And this is what I class as my baby bonsai. Now, if you want to see what these fly like, in the top right hand corner of this video, there is a link to me stuffing this one in a cow pat, as we can tell by the brown mark on the right hand side. I really need to wash that off. But they are just such amazing fun. They're just so small. They're not very big. They're about 60 centimeters wide. You can chuck them in the back of your car. And I can tell you, this one has had well over 100 flights and probably about 100 bad landings as well. The only reason why we're missing a chunk out of the elevon up there is because there was me harmlessly flying around trying to take out Craig's Texumo, and his Texumo ate part of my elevon. So yeah, another flying wing. We looked at the Texumo in the previous episode. Texumos are fantastic, but the Bonsai is like the baby version of the Texumo. Brilliant fun. Unlike the Texumo, which really doesn't slope soar very well, the Bonsai, heads up, you definitely do need cheat mode with a motor on the back from time to time, but they will slope soar. I've flown them in at 40 mile an hour plus wind on the slope. Brilliant fun. Now, I'd also like just to cover in this series as well, just some basic details on the setup. So, and underneath this video, I will put the full specification list, not only for this setup, but the mental setup, which I'll cover in a moment, which is Tower Pro MG90S metal geared servos. I'll put them on the other one for you, if I can move that around. There we go. They do weigh 12 grams and they are metal geared, but I very rarely have an issue with them. In fact, I've had one which has been dead on arrival and one I broke in my slope soaring wing over there because I bent the elevon around in the bag. So yeah, very robust servos, and they are as cheap, if not cheaper, than the Hobby King plastic servos. So stop buying crappy plastic servos now. You can get metal geared servos like the same size as the plastic ones, and for less money as well. And I'll put a link to that video about these Tower Pro servos in the top right hand corner. Yeah, super cheap, absolutely brilliant. So you'll see they've got the Tower Pro servos on there. You'll also notice, and I'll put this on the iPad for you, is that you'll notice around the motor mount and especially around the nose, you'll see it's all shiny. And the reason why it's shiny is because I've given a really good coating with goop glue. Now, I've got a separate video on this for you to make them crash resistant. And also I've got several other videos on like the setup and the build of them, just loads and loads of little tips around the Bonsai, and I'll put a link to that little playlist in the top right hand corner for you as well. If we turn it over, you'll see that we've got the electronics in there. So we've got our ESC and our receiver. We've got space for the battery down the front, and I just run mine with a small little 2S battery. Now, I'm going to leave this in here because I'm trying to keep the edits down to a minimum. And so, yeah, that's a zippy 1000 milliampere. I'll put that on the iPad wherever the camera is. There we go. It's a 2S battery. They cost about 3 quid, maybe $4, something like that. We just mount her up in the front, and happy days, a little bit of Velcro. Oh, these do come with this funny little battery strap thingy on them. Not very good at all. Instead, what I do is cut mine out a little bit further and then use a plastic ID card, as we can see there, to just put a bit of sticky back Velcro in there, and that works an awful lot better. as far as the motor, the Emax 2805, 2840 kV motor, absolutely brilliant with I don't know, say a 5x45 propeller. Maybe you flew quads before, for example. Just chuck one of those on there, absolutely fine. And again, the full specification list for both this one, the 2S setup, the baby bonsai, and the mental bonsai will be in the video description for you. But yeah, bonsais, brilliant fun. You can pretty much chuck anything at this one and it will survive. I love the bonsais. And give you a heads up, when I go flying, is what I do. I normally get the bonsai out, chuck it around, get my few unscheduled landings out of the way, and then move on to another model. And also, it's because it's small and light, is that it will give me a very, very good idea of what the wind conditions are like on that day at that time. So when I progress to a different model, I've got a fair idea that it's okay, it's really choppy up there, but it's fine here, or vice versa. So yeah, bonsais, brilliant, brilliant fun. You can pretty much do anything which you want with them. Talking about doing pretty much anything you want to them, this is my mental bonsai. And the only difference between the baby bonsai and the mental bonsai is that motor on the back. Now I'm just going to move over and see if you can see that on the camera. That would be an Emax RS 2205 2600 kV motor with a 50/50 tri-blade on the back of it. And I can tell you point blank, that one rips the sky a new one every single time. It will consistently do about 77 miles per hour on the RC Speedo app on the mobile phone. The fastest I've caught it on the app so far has been 144 miles an hour as we brought it out of an epic great big dive and then brought it straight across the flight line. But on the flip side, unlike the baby bonsai, which is quite a relaxing experience, this one you can't even blink because it's gone. Okay, absolutely crazy setup. Again, the full setup details are underneath. So maybe you've got a spare quadcopter motor going spare, for example. Just make sure it's 3S rated or 4S rated in that one's case, and then pop that on the back. Really straightforward, absolutely mental fun. Yeah, mental. That's the only way to explain that one. It is absolutely mental, chicken oriental. So I'll pop that one up there out of the way. Now, before I wrap this episode up, I'm going to ask you just two simple questions. So if you already own a bonsai, can you help out the people who don't actually own a bonsai yet? And can you let them know what your honest thoughts are on the bonsai flying wing? If you broke yours today, would you go and buy another one? Let the world know in the comments section underneath this video. Or maybe you don't yet own a bonsai flying wing. What's holding you back? Did this video help you? Let me know in the comments section underneath this video. And of course, if you've got any questions at all, I've got 3 of them here and they're all bought out of my own money. So I will give you the honest answers for them. I honestly, genuinely think these are fantastic models. They are really, really good fun. If you're just getting into flying wings, then maybe the Texumo might be a little bit better for you. But on the flip side, if you chose the Texumo or if you chose the Bonsai, it doesn't really matter. They are both really, really good fun. Now I'm going to wrap up now. So I'm going to say thank you for taking the time to watch this episode. Like I said, if you have any questions, please just ask in the comments section underneath this video. And also, if you found this episode helpful, do me a favor, remember to press the like button underneath this video. And of course, any comments, suggestions, just ask. And on that note, from myself, Matt, cheerios.